Oh no! What's up? What are you guys up to, man? You know what I'm up to? I'm checking out Restoration Shaman. Now, my good buddy Siler already checked out Enhancement Shaman, but we're looking at how these pertain to me and potentially you. First one is Storm Elemental Totem. All right, really cool model. Looks amazing, but it's a really cool cooldown. Now we're gonna look at this in the scope of with and without Primal Elementalist or whatever. As a Resto Druid, I personally always use Primal Elementalist, but this is because I'm almost exclusively doing 5-man, pretty much challenge mode type content. I do some flex and all that, but it's a great, really good talent for 5-mans. I'm just showing off exactly how much it heals for. There's a little guy there. He's a pretty little Vortex man. Mano Vortex, pretty neat stuff. It's doing some pretty good damage, 13k. Obviously, as a Resto Shaman, that's nothing to sneeze at. It is multi-striking as well, which is pretty interesting. And you'll see the top left there how much healing it's actually doing. This is not a lot of healing, but it is just me that it's healing. It's meant to heal pretty much everybody around it. I elected to do this here instead of at the Dummies and Shatreth because there was no easy way for me to heal multiple targets and do damage to mobs. So I felt like this was the best option. Regardless, this is the non-Primal Elementalist version. It does do, this is not a bad amount of healing considering the new healing model. And it lasts pretty long, you know what I mean? So this is a good choice. Currently, without Primal Elementalist, I don't feel like this is a good, worthy choice. We're going to show the other three off, or the other two off. But I'll explain why it's so much better with Primal Element. And look at that guy, man. Just a smiling vortex. What are you gonna do about a smiling vortex? Now we're about to look at the same version, only with the Primal Elementalist talent. Just showing that off a bit. Read on the screen, obviously. Either way, it's still gonna attack a creature and heal the people around it. But it does have a few new abilities. So now it's got this wind aura around it. I'm going to show you here in a second. You move mad quick when you're in this. It's really cool. That one, it buffs his damage, makes him do a bit more healing periodically. Then there's a knockback, which is not currently defaulted, but obviously you can use. Maybe very good for challenge modes as well. Once again, looks pretty cool. This is a reused model from the Throne of the Four Winds 5-man. I can't remember what it was called, but it does look cool. Don't get me wrong. Reused or not, it's great. I love it. And you'll see the speed component here shortly. But I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably my second favorite choice when in Primal Elementalist form. Obviously, the extra abilities it has are very versatile and useful. And just like the Rock and Fire Elemental, they could, especially that knockback, that could do a lot. It's not the strongest healing cooldown in the game, without any question. It's another one to add to the list. Shaman already have 4 good ones, honestly. So, there's really nothing wrong with adding a 5th. But let's check out the next one. All right, now I love the ocean. You gotta love the ocean if you're playing a Restoration Shaman, all right? And High Tide is a great example why the ocean is great. All right, you read it there. Basically, long story short, it makes Chain Heal way better. And Chain Heal has always been my favorite heal in the game. All the way back to BC. Honestly, even I never played Horde in Alliance. Or I never played Horde in Classic, but even back then it was crazy. It's just such a great throughput per cast spell. And even still, even with the new model, it's still a very good heal. So I'm going to show you why it's so cool. Watch this. Basically, you can put Riptides on targets that normally would not get your Chain Heal, and now they will get it. Depending, as long as they're within the same range. I make a mistake there. They're not close enough to the target I'm currently healing. But there it shows a good example. And you're going to see how crazy this can get once you figure out, the positioning. Basically, this is not a non-factor in raid. These dummies are set up kind of weird. But there it is. Look at that. Look at the bouncing. And this is with the glyph that makes it increased range, which I'm going to say is mandatory currently. I'm not a professional Restoration Shaman, but it doesn't seem like there's any other really good glyphs that could take that slot. And especially since 20-player Mythic is going to be the thing now, this potentially means that you're going to be hitting a large portion of the room, even if they're not anywhere near you. Look at how cool that is. That is so, it just looks cool. It is cool. It's water. I mean, how great is water? Water is life, says Prince of Persia. You know what I mean? It's so great. I love it. I love splashing people. Look at it. It's like a pool party. This is tremendous. This is my favorite talent, by the way. I love this one. All right, and the final one's Condensation Totem. If you didn't like the splash around pool party that was high tides, then you're going to love the slip and slide action that is Condensation Totem. Basically, it stores all your overhealing done while the totem is out. It looks freaking sweet and gives you the healing from that overhealing towards your next spell. This is a pretty niche ability. I like it better than the Storm Elemental when it's not buffed, but do not like it better than the Storm Elemental when it is primaled, just because it's kind of niche. I'm going to show it off here. Look at how freaking cool. This reminds me of heaven. That's the only way. If heaven were water, this would be it, and it's great. I love life and heaven and water. These are all great things. So when you have this great, all these great things in one talent, it's going to be good, even if it's bad, which it is kind of bad, but it's not bad. It's kind of good, actually. It's pretty decent. So anyway, we're just going to show you off exactly what it looks like, the buff-wise. You just put it down. Another thing that I want to make a point of here is the cooldown. This is a very, very low cooldown. You can pretty much drop this constantly. It's a 15-second duration for a 30-second cooldown, meaning it's up 50% of the fight, which is insane. And I don't know. It depends. I can't really see. I'm sure somebody's got a great example that makes this a great spell. But look how much that heal for. That's a good amount of healing. If you guys have any questions, though, let me know. Otherwise, Resto Shaman is now completed.